Hello everyone, welcome back again to Liverpool Report today. We've got the latest updates on our beloved club Liverpool, but before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of Liverpool Report news. Let's get started. Arneslot was stunned that VAR Paul Tierney chose not to send off James Tarkowski after a high tackle on Alexis McAllister in Wednesday's Merseyside derby. Liverpool edged out the contest, but much of the talk was about the first half tackle that escaped a red card. Tarkowski came flying in, and whilst he got the ball first, his studs ended up hitting McAllister high up on his leg, which left the midfielder down in pain. Ref Sam Barrett handed out a yellow card, and despite VAR Tierney coming in to take a second look, there was no red card review advised. It came to the surprise of almost everyone watching. Jamie Carragher claimed, "For Paul Tierney to not give it on VAR is shocking." Gary Neville echoed that sentiment as he said, "That's a potential leg breaker." Slot clearly felt that he didn't need to say anything when quizzed on the challenge, claiming he wasn't surprised after the referee, who had a long-standing feud with Jurgen Klopp, chose to pick yellow over red. He said, "Let me first say that I don't want to comment about the situation, because so many people already commented on that, even people that are not liking Liverpool a lot, and they were all so clear and obvious what the decision should have been. Liverpool largely have a good record when Tierney is involved in their games, and they saw off Everton, but Klopp previously had numerous issues with the official." The German claimed in 2021 that Tierney was the only referee he didn't see eye to eye with. "I have no problem with any referees, only you," he said. Once upon a time, after an issue involving Andy Robertson during a game officiated by Tierney, Klopp said, "I think there are some things we could talk about, but they are not really helpful. And that's why I would prefer not to talk about it. But we had our issues with some referees." The frustration Klopp had with Tierney was certainly not a one-off, and even when his red side would win games, he still found time to air his issues with the referee. Back in May 2023, Liverpool secured a late win over Tottenham, owing to a stoppage time goal from Diogo Jota, and Klopp celebrated in front of the fourth official before speaking his mind, which ultimately earned him a touchline ban and a fine. The Liverpool manager accused Tierney of being biased against the club and him in a post-match interview. He said, "We have our story, history with Mr. Tierney. I really don't know what this man has with us. I really don't know. Always will say there is nothing, and it's not true. Cannot be. I have to say it cannot be. I don't understand it. I am really not sure if it's me because how he looks at me, I don't understand it." Virgil van Dijk has rejected suggestions this season will leave a bitter taste at Liverpool after hopes of a treble were dashed within a week recently. The Reds topped the Premier League and were in the hunt to add 2 more trophies up until last month. PSG beat them at Anfield to end their hopes of winning the Champions League, and then shortly afterwards, despite being favourites at Wembley, Newcastle beat them in the Carabao Cup final to leave Slot only eyeing the league, which they are expected to win sooner rather than later. Despite the quality and consistency produced on the red half of Merseyside, Slot will ultimately deliver just 1 trophy in the league, barring a huge capitulation, and Owen has suggested that the recent setbacks will change the perception of the campaign. Owen told Premier League Productions, "It's been a frustrating couple of weeks. Liverpool were poised to have a phenomenal season. If they win the Premier League, it'll still be fantastic, but with a little bit of a bitter taste because it was building into something special." Owen then asked Van Dijk if the defeats in the 2 cup competitions has taken the shine slightly off their campaign, which the Dutchman took major issue with and immediately hit back at the former Red. He replied, "So you're suggesting the season is not going to be special anymore?" Owen then said, "It will be, absolutely, it will be special, but I thought it could have been building into something very special." Van Dijk then underlined how he and the team would look to change that perception, insisting that no one expected them to be title challengers, let alone winners, before the campaign got underway. "Well, I think we have to change that narrative a little bit," he said. "We're fighting for the biggest prize of the season. We work so hard for it. 20 teams are working so hard to be on top of the Premier League. We have 8 games to go. We know what's at stake. We have to go for it. We have to fight. We have to enjoy the whole ride. And then let's see. Like I said, it's still looking very special in my eyes." I think what you said at the start of the season, I think no one expected us to even try to fight on all four fronts. Obviously, we're at the stage now where we're still fighting for the biggest, and that's the reality. It's still a possibility that this season will be very, very special. Arne Slot brushed off complaints from Everton over Diogo Jota's winning goal in the Merseyside derby. And the Dutchman also refused to be drawn on the controversial call that saw James Tarkowski avoid a red card for his X-rated challenge on Alexis McAllister. Liverpool are now just 13 points away from a 20th domestic title courtesy of their 1-0 win at Anfield on Wednesday night. A second-half goal from Jota put the game to bed, but there were calls for it to be chalked off as Luis Diaz was stood in an offside position in the build-up to the match's defining moment. Diaz did not interfere with play though, and was back onside by the time he teed up Jota to steer the ball expertly beyond a sea of blue shirts and Jordan Pickford in the Everton goal. David Moyes was not impressed after the match, but Slot insisted that the rules were followed by referee Samuel Barrett, telling Sky Sports, "It's not easy to score against them. Great goal. According to the rules, it was a goal, so no one can complain about that." When he was pushed on Everton's complaints over the goal, Slot added, "There is always question marks, but the good thing is, we've got rules. At least they just showed on TV that it's a clear goal. I would be frustrated if I concede that goal, but then I'm frustrated about the rule and not the execution of the rule. The rule itself is frustrating because I think you always have to help, in my opinion, the offensive team." The other big talking point of the game was Tarkowski's poor tackle on McAllister. The incident was checked by VAR official Paul Tierney after the Everton defender was only shown a yellow card initially. Former Premier League official Mike Dean was left in disbelief by the call, and he wasted no time in claiming that the decision was completely wrong. Slot was asked how McAllister was after the tackle and replied, "Alexis is okay because he kept on playing. He's used to something because he's from South America. I think everybody has said something about it, so why should I add to it? It's so obvious that it's not necessary for me to comment. I'd prefer to talk about the goal or Curtis Jones's performance or something else." The Premier League have confirmed why Samuel Barrett decided against sending James Tarkowski off after he left Alexis McAllister in a heap with a dangerous tackle during the first half of Wednesday night's Merseyside derby. The Everton defender went flying into a tackle on McAllister just outside his penalty area. The Liverpool star was left writhing in pain as VAR reviewed the incident to determine whether or not Tarkowski's challenge met the threshold for serious foul play, eventually determining that it did not. A social media post on the Premier League's Match Centre account was then released a few minutes later, explaining Tarkowski had played the ball. The post read, "The referee's call of yellow card for a reckless foul by Tarkowski was checked by the VAR, with contact on the follow-through after Tarkowski had played the ball deemed to be reckless." While Tarkowski's challenge was judged to be reckless by VAR, not everybody agreed with that call. Sky Sports pundit Gary Neville, commentating on the game, branded the tackle horrible, saying it is a horrible tackle. He did not need to follow through like that. Former Premier League official Mike Dean went one further by questioning VAR's failure to overturn the call on Sky Sports News. Dean said he should have gone to the screen and he should be off. It is a horrible challenge. It is a red card all day. Former Liverpool defender Stephen Warnock also condemned the challenge on BBC Radio 5 Live, saying Tarkowski was out of control. He raged. "This challenge is nasty from James Tarkowski. He wins the ball, but follows through on Alexis McAllister. Tarkowski knows exactly what he's doing in that situation. I think it is so dangerous. It is out of control from Tarkowski." Jamie Carragher chimed in at half-time, saying we'll talk about VAR, but the referee, Sam Barrett, he's in a brilliant position. He should give that on the pitch. He has to see that. Has to. It's a shocking tackle. We know it should be a red card. It's not even really up for debate. The referee should get it.